Hello and welcome to Political Minute. I figured I'd be politically controversial today, hence the hat. So we can all blame this on the four national microwaves whenever they say, this doesn't happen in the USA. The X always keeps giving better inspiration. But just in looking at this and everything else, since I've had someone hack in that watch the Waters thing, just to tell me about how my baboon South American, whatever the heck it was on Walter's World last night, and I'm going, I saw that too. It's the only way you can get cable because you're a police officer and steal it. But I just look at it and go, there were two gorillas at the Bronx Zoo. And I'm sure that guy must have been the thinking that he was the gorilla doing her. But that's just life. So, Officer Slash, top cop of USA from Knoxville. Well, I'm sorry, top cop of Tennessee. However it is with your egomaniac stuff. And that you're on the personal payroll for things for Donald Trump. I know everything that I put on here, there's nothing in budget, but we have the budget to bust your blood vessels in the back of your head so you can't really remember anything. And this will take care of any of that talk about our Al Qaeda church, which I do say, honestly, you're blonde, and I did a thing for blonde Al Qaeda, and it never summed up anybody better than you, Slashy. And, whether you're really appointed to something and you're at the personal discretion of Officer Dickhead, ex-President Trump, I'm just saying, it really does go to looking at you and your little group of hack-ins that want to ricochet a radio signal off of like a thing of Disney tapes, those collectible things on them, going, as long as built into those little outside cases is the RFID tag, you're a DVD stealer, which I never did, and anybody who says from Walmart is slander, libel, and attempted murder, as well as maiming and any other thing out there. It doesn't even have to be proved at it, just that I have to feel that way, that's how you've been coming after me, because basically almost everybody here is Al Qaeda, and they kill people for theft. And Al Qaeda came from basically all the crusades at the USA. The Spanish, World War I, World War II. We can push it all the way back there probably to easily the French and Indian War, and even something that happened with Native Americans all the way back to 1000 easily, without even bringing in Jesus, which is illegal in this country. That's why Al Qaeda is illegal. Anyway, just going to put in a bunch of things here. Just go and take care of all the trash, kind of like I did the other day on my personal channel. Looking at it, Al Qaeda wouldn't be trying to come here through losing like World War II, World War I, and the Pan Ams did, if they hadn't had something to do with the Civil War. We can all try and look like it's all happy-go-lucky together, and somehow or another, maybe they'll watch Outlaw Josie Wells and take an oath to it like half their members go on and brag about here. And honestly, they're fat little curly-haired people that everybody says is German or else Northern Italian. But at the same time with it all, we just look at everyone and just go, screw off. They're just going to have one of them make a roll on it, get paid $1 million a day, like they do with everybody who ever killed a USA soldier or a person in uniform, and get whatever they want. And they'll have private hunting ranches and everything else, and be like, aren't you going to treat me like a Native American yet? I only inbreed with my own kids. And eventually that thing in their legs out there where they drag themselves around, it'll take care of itself. We'll either kill them and eat them or something else like that, and all this other stuff. And we're under the Abrahamatic faiths. That is the, how should we say, the Bible of Mussolini. It combines everything. The Central Roman people that pretended to be Jewish to get through everything, or whatever they want to call them with their supernatural powers over there in the Central Catholic groups. The Christians of the Western area and everything else that will go out there to the ends and make sure they'll die against the evil whatever's that's coming across the Atlantic Ocean. Then the Orthodoxy, who knows that they will say they look something like that and will be able to murder them off because they were able to be left alone and look at goats or whatever the heck it is they're going to say you can't eat, or pigs, and say, but you all ate this, and now we're really you because we know orthodoxly we have this. And meanwhile, somewhere over there will seem to be looking like you all, and we'll call it the HRE and the Holy Roman Empire. That's invaded Mexico 3 times, and the USA's defeated at least 2 of those. The other time we were in a civil war. Anyway, looking at the insanity of it, this is one of the things that I can say about this. Al-Qaeda does try to go with Islam as much. The Taliban does not really care. I don't care. I don't look anything like them. Look at me now. Now realize all the fucking differences. The Taliban does not have to have a mosque, does not have to have a temple, does not have to have a church, does not have to have a baraka. They do not have to have any type of lodge or anything else like that, or anything else. And you're just going to have to realize they can have that. They can do whatever it is they want to. They can do however it is they need. And if they need to come to your place and establish a church, then they will. They don't need to have a mosque, but they will, if it means that they can establish themselves there. Those that are the holy people of establishment will, at all times, go out and, how should we say, establish whatever is there. They will be the deciders, rulers, and judges. Their church will not go away or anything else until one of them in their lineage accepts Christ. Or else whatever it is that is needed to be accepted by that which is the commoner situation. Those that do accept it will be sent out as basically on a mission. Missionary work. Pilgrimage work. Anything else along those lines. Until, including, up to their death, by however they see it fit. Those that are the most noble situation, that are not of the founders or anything else, everyone is supposed to use the ability of prayer at them. One is supposed to pray all the time, and somehow have their prayers go at these people and enter their bodies. That's a mosquito ring that's been weaponized. That's actual ultrasound from physical therapy that has been weaponized. Now go say I look off to my left or my right and it's lying because you're lazy police officers. You're lazy military. The person who reaches for that and can't even repeat the words that the other one said to know even what they were talking about is just someone who's gone, I've been taught and gone to school. Complacency. I hope you are in the first round of whatever it is that blows you up, so that there can be at least something that can tell the whatever it is to do whatever. It's like basically everything with 2 of the people I work with carrying their own guns because they're former law enforcement to current law enforcement at unarmed security guard posts. But there's no way you can tell with anything because they can make a plastic gun or anything else. And you're not allowed to strip search these people and beat them senseless until they tell you. But they're just co-workers, so they're not the client. So make sure you write it right. afterwards with every single thing with you all. Seriously, these people have killed at one church that I know of, and they go on, they have 50 to 55. And then they would show back up at different soccer things, and we were actually banned from going and playing soccer and doing soccer practices at these areas, at these parks that they basically claimed. These are worse than the Bloods and the Crips. They are just a gang underneath Pope John Paul II's Nazi group. That's right, Polish fucking Catholics rode their goddamn horses to Al Qaeda land and everything else that we think we went there to save because they were killing the Jews just like everybody else. And it's just propaganda. And then they turned back around after growing beards out and becoming short little haggard people that couldn't eat the whatever and started beating the fuck out of everybody that was there and go, we finally won for Rome. Now there's probably another set of gangbangers that's going to be coming along with this, just like the gangbangers that fell out of the sky that fucked up the South and everything else. And they go, it was racist. And it's like most of them are blonder headed, Aryan looking motherfuckers than what you'll call me and everything else. And the most you'll do is go, oh, it's a thick eyebrowed Hindu Mussolini cunt. Maybe someone should talk to you like this. And this should be language that's used around children by all stretches of imagination. Now, with everything out here with this, you just need to understand, even if I don't see you from college for 7 or 8 years, that means we're still the same gang. If we don't see each other in high school, you're the gang that I brought along with you 12 to 15 years later to be with the college gang. And whoever went to the doctorate degree thing after 20 years, we're just all going to meet up and be like all okay over that and be like, this is the gang I brought with me, and they brought other gang that they worked with everything else. You need to understand how things are going. They just need some leadership. And they don't need someone who's basically a Pope Pius brigade like you fuckers are, that you all accuse me of every day of the week because you got on the police force, which was totally illegal because you represent a foreign national group out there. And it's like, it's not a national government thing. There's no national funds that come to you. You have to give me more national funds to see where I stick them all at. And it's like, I just make a pile of it here. And I've been using the only national fund that matters, which is a Social Security number, which in old USA, anything for the United States government was considered a fund. So it's espionage just getting the Social Security number. You can't do that because you'll go, there's a pregnant illegal immigrant, rather than a pregnant war combatant, which are easily separated. This is just ridiculous. I don't see how you can't separate this situation from it. Anyway, moving right along here from it with everything, and basically looking at the structure of their church, how they set up suicide bombers and everything else, and where these suicide bombers really came from, since the Quran does not teach anything about going out and blowing people up. It talks about going out there and dying basically on the front lines and insurmountable odds, and maybe somehow you survive yourself. It doesn't talk about anything out there. And it's like, what's the difference between blowing yourself up at the very end of whatever it is, feigning surrender, or else going in there and fighting nobly on the front lines until maybe you died against whatever it was. It was there to destroy the faith of whatever it is with Islam. But, looking at it, it's just absolutely ridiculous. There's one thing that's been kind of said around, kind of like, two people walked by me and said, I don't see what the point is in working all your life just to die later. That's the point of it. And they're talking about some old high school thing, and I ain't seen them, not really friends with them, but I ain't seen their dad or something else in like 4 or 5 years. Anyway, don't act like they don't review the tapes from high school wherever they're at. And the only thing that they'll really ever remember is something from acting with a bunch of beavers pretending to be whatever and never saw anything else. But they got paid, $30,000 a quarter to do that. One of the things that's kind of like that with people saying, because Al Qaeda does sound a lot like something in 4 Native American languages around here that share a similar dialect. Al Qaeda gives birth opposite of Lot. Another little thing that's just some sort of BS that's probably going around out here is actually, I won't say it's BS with this one group because they've been at each other's throats and talking about who they're supposed to be for, and they're their Pope Piuses of eternal merit and everything, and all this other stuff. And some of them come from the Mussolini family. The others are like, we just constantly need our Mussolini family upgrade and everything. Basically, take Al Qaeda and just try to pronunciate it and be as retarded as in the South, and they'll never charge you with anything with being with it, like Qida. And so long as you make a band of any group of people, a gang, that means that you're a Native American because it's the band of there. And since they're in legal situations here, they're a band of the Sioux. Absolutely fucking hilarious with this, but the Sioux are one of those that was targeted most openly by World War II. It's the one that I can say I've had a in-law go off on me because he saw this Apache movie and watched like 15 minutes of it. And I'm going, God, this guy's way older than he says. And he was probably in like elementary school over in World War II with Hitler or something. And, I was really young. I was about 12. I think the guy's died by now. But everything with the Sioux, I've had to deal with that crap all the way up to going to an Alaska vacation here because my mom retired and said, you're going to come with us. I was like, it just makes me look rich. It just makes me look like I have money. People are going to show up. No, you're going to come with us. I'm the guy who never has more than $700 to $2,000 to his name. And if anything happens for some reason, they let me pay it off on credit cards because they'll go, it makes more money, interest, and then I can roll in it. And I'm going, you're basically Taliban. And it's like all these people that I know that go around and try to pretend to be Native Americans here and go, I have AB positive blood. Does that not mean anything to you? Are you so stupid? They could never tell that on a DNA test separate from us or anything else. So that means that we're the same as you. Where's your group at? Keep away from me. I haven't seen 15 people who look like you. You're a Native American group. They'll never have a casino or mineral rights or both. Where is my family? Look, I'm acting like an old American for whenever they had the Constitution first made. Where is my family? Where is my lost... I came back from slavery from Rome. I know I'm a rape baby. They can actually tell that. They could tell the Genghis Khan thing back in the 80s, and it's just like whenever who makes it public. So it's like, obviously, you look like Chinese spies here, even though you're not. But just say everything's fake in the government that they tell you. Anyway, moving right along to some of the other bullshit that I have to deal with all these craziness and everything else. I've been having people go back and forth with how we're all supposed to be going out and killing the Shaolin monks and everything, and what we need to have for nuclear targeted cities and everything else. And you're like, you don't spend enough time with anything. And it's like, I can sit there and say something that the CNN thinks, and so many police officers are trying to save their money so they can buy ammunition to keep at their own house, and want to sit there and try and be like, this is what this means, and I'm a Democrat. And I'm like, so you're the Confederacy that never took the oath, like an outlaw Josie Wells. Just being honest with you, CNN lady that wants to go on about punching trees, I understand that it's like black people's kryptonite where they show that they're just as racist, like when they're yelling at Al Sharpton and stuff and everything, and you don't realize how many like quarter to eighth Orientals are looking like white people in Texas. You just want to go out there and wear a different color than white or the KKK, have a mask on, and kill Orientals and be like, they were partially Jewish and I'm a Christian. or else Native American or something else that was on Mussolini's death list, like the KKK, one of his great allies was, and was called back to Rome. And then they would give people from Rome to Germany and Japan to help make, like, if you read the book in middle school, the little green bus stop benches, and then there was the black bus stop benches. And all the good people got to sit on the black bus stop benches. And now and then, people would experiment with pipe bombs and stuffing them full of stuff and blow them up when the Jews were there to say that they were dissidents getting ready to plant pipe bombs somewhere. Oh my God, it's January 6th with that one person who went around the DNC putting out pipe bombs. They just didn't know how to do it right. Why does that not make an instant knowledge over how people and MOs continue from, like, the people who hate America? How does that not make an instant thing that you know about Shaolin? That they have ancient trees and they're the only ones protected in China, and everything has been on the news for like 5 or 6 years and people are punching them. But I'm sure you practiced college so much that you couldn't keep up with current events, so you couldn't meld the real world with anything else other than the one kryptonite that black people have, which is, God, I want to kill an Oriental. Or else, act like I'm cowering in fear after I got done smacking around my white slaves that the Roman government, the Vatican, has proof of, because you had to make the money exchanges with them in Central Africa. That's why everybody likes Zulu. It's like there's no way they owned any white slaves, even though they traded all the time with Russia. Okay. Let's see here. I'm sure that there's something else I should go on here with on this, version of Colin. I could put, it's 22 minutes long. That means 8 minutes long in commercials. I'm like Walter's World. Instead of, being like, so you want to meet up out back and have a moment? I think we're going to see if he gets fired like Bill did. Just looking at it, I think that takes care of the whole thing in the paper, though. And, how we're being reconstructed. And the final reconstruction of the USA is the common good of the USA and all of its common people. So we do have to face an invasion and everything else. Looking over here, I don't really see a whole lot of anything else that I can go on here with this. There was some other really good tidbits of stuff, but I don't know. I guess it's just not in the budget, but further colonization by which every person is supposed to do, and Rome can give options. Oh yeah, border crisis. I'm sorry. Look at the South. Don't look at the North as we bring in our people that are with all the former colonial powers of the world and everything else that are trying to recolonize here. President Trump and a lot of the others have set it up to where, try to look a little more professional here. And honestly, I hate saying this President Trump because he's, in a way, I go, he's the one who would really, really super learn at it, and everybody else is like, I just wasn't. I was ill prepared. It's a new generation. It's, let's see if they notice I play saxophone and it looks like I'm smart. Whenever I have a problem, looking at it, Republicans are on the southern border. Democrats are saying there's something interior we need to segregate. Whoever it is that set up this system, have you ever been a short kid that constantly keeps getting hit on the head like that and going whatever, but yet at the New Year's, 99 to 2000, there's 3 or 4 massive fertilizer and fireworks bombs that came across the border. They were caught by the Border Patrol and everybody and didn't blow up Seattle. Looks like Seattle got blown up in a way now. We're going to blow up like I think Buffalo and Niagara Falls. Some people were claimed to be going to New York City, but didn't. They didn't make it there. Some other things in the central heartland that they were going through, and I guess they were trying to make something look like Tim McVeigh. Didn't make it. And I just keep going, southern border, southern border. Anybody want to open up a fentanyl ring and just be like, whatever privilege, and just say it's called northern border privilege? I mean, seriously, I could probably sit there and be totally seriously honest with it, and it's like it would just rain down through the northern border. I used to have a cousin that lived in actual Michigan, and they said that I was so poor when I was younger and stupid that just meant that I thought that Michigan was up there in Union County. That's this really poor county right north of us. And they all have the cars sitting around there, and they go, one day the government's going to encourage us to bring our cars in, and we'll find out if they get certified as classics, and we can sell the parts off for like $40,000, or else we get like to have all the steel go up, and they'll need it in a war effort. I'm telling you, they made so much money in World War II in aluminum pan drives and other stuff that it is absolutely ridiculous. You have no idea how much they made and how good it is for them. Now, looking at one of the things on this one that is on the border, and I'm going, this is totally President Trump. I will go complete Trump. And it's like, he set this up on the border. Biden is for the new Catholic order, that Spain will come over and teach us what it is to be a wayward colony and be brought back underneath. I know that it will never be proven in my lifetime, but the colonic rebels are no different than the Taliban. They're basically all just escaped Mussolini war criminals that have been able to get the local peoples to get along with them. There was a major escape in the 80s from the underground prisons in northern Spain as well as southern France. They both kind of worked with each other, but they said there was a border zone line that they were somehow able to take and hold, like in locked up abroad in a South American prison. And then one day they just got out. Excuse me. Weather changed by 20 degrees. I seriously don't have COVID. Anyway, this wonderful thing that happened there, some of them got out and got over here. And they let them do whatever it is and think that they're going to take them to places. And honestly, I'm like, all the satanic killings that are down here that revolve around a goat and stuff, and how the Queen of Spain at the time of World War II was from Greece and married internationally. Just saying. There was a lot of killings here. It was kind of like an upside down version of what they say the Masonic rituals are when you put them together. And then there's things that spoke outwards. And it's a huge pattern. I've tried looking at it. I look at it every 3-4 years or something, simply because my own name has came up with some of these people. And from a major World War II criminal that's still living here, they let kind of just run around and see whatever happens. And I would say the Hinkelson family was the one that told me, who has a Secret Service operative and now is an in-law. Small town stupidity. But it was their naval recon group. Just 1 second.